So. Hello, my beautiful people. We are back with a new kind of video that we haven't had a chance to do yet. We are doing a recap of the Squire Legacy Ultimate Decades Challenge from 1300 to 1320. And we are just going to kind of go through what has happened so far. And you're finally going to get a look at my spreadsheet. The people have spoken. I'm going to deliver. I have not shared it because oftentimes there's a lot of spoilers on there. So maybe I'll just share it during our little recap sessions like this, which I am planning on doing every 20 years. So we're going to start here by taking a look at our Plumtree family tree. All right, so we have here's what it looks like right now all together. So we did start in the year 1300 with Runar and Riona. Unfortunately, Riona did pass away in 1306. So I have a little blurb here about Riona. I have not written the blurbs for everybody yet. I figure I will write them once they have passed away, because by that point we have an idea of who they were and kind of what their life story is. And a lot of these Sims, their story is still kind of developing. Full disclosure, there's probably parts of this that are not updated right now. So let's actually go to the view you all see rather than my view. But we have a little blurb about her. The part that I love the most is that at this time, they didn't really marry for love, but honestly, Runar and Riona knew nothing about that. They were so in love, they could not keep their hands off of each other, and that resulted in a lot of children. So Runar and Riona had 8 children. 6 of them survived infancy, so 2 children did pass away as newborns. Riona had a couple of difficult pregnancies, and kind of as she went along, her pregnancies got even more difficult, and she gave birth to several sets of twins, but none of them survived until we had Rune and Thor. And when Rune and Thor survived, Riona unfortunately did not. So she was able to carry both of them, and they survived, but she did not. The other sets of twins, unfortunately, only one survived each time. Mare was a twin, and Oscar was a twin. But their first child, Folk, here, has married Lassie Blackburn, and they have had a number of children. Unfortunately, the only surviving child right now is Edward, the little redhead here. They had Edgar first. Edgar died during the Great Famine. It was most unfortunate. He was about 1.5 years old. Esmond, we are saying that he actually died in his sleep. So at this time they wouldn't have known about it, but it would have been something like akin to SIDS or something like that. And then we have Edric, who did not live very long at all. He did not live past infancy. So he was born alive, but then he passed away. And we're going to say for him, it was more like a failure to thrive kind of situation. And again, there could have been something wrong with him. And at this time in the 1300s, they just didn't know what those things were or how to treat them. Science, medicine was not all that advanced. So that is the most unfortunate thing. But currently in 1320, Edward is our current heir for the Squire legacy. They have had all boys. So that's an interesting note. The second child born from Riona and Runar was Thora. Thora is an absolutely gorgeous Sim. I wish I could zoom in more on her. And this is not updated because she does have a second husband. I just didn't have a photo of him. She just got married in our last episode in 1320. So she does have a second husband now because unfortunately her first husband, Sullivan, passed away as a teenager very quickly, about 1 year after they got married, and he died during the Great Famine. So Thora is currently still alive, and she has one child right now, Catherine, with Sullivan, and she has just gotten married to Sullivan's cousin, Walter, so that she could stay on the estate and raise Catherine there. And I have to say, Thora is one of the most beautiful Sims I have ever seen, and I'm very interested to see what her children end up looking like. These Sims are all gorgeous, honestly. I cannot get over it. So Catherine right now is an infant. Then we had Mare, who was a twin with Bran. Bran was born sleeping, so he was a stillborn. Mare did survive, and she is currently alive. Note that during the Great Famine, she lost her first daughter, Jolene. And this is not updated. All right. So she actually does have twin boys currently. Jolene passed away during the famine. Mare actually passed away during the famine as well, but we brought her back with the help of the Grim Reaper. So Mare got very, very sick during the Great Famine. And, there's some rumors swirling about how she was able to survive that. And, her and her husband lived. Their daughter did not. Mare was on her deathbed and somehow survived. And, people might be wondering exactly how that came to be because, she did technically die and Grim was kind enough to bring her back. But, rumors get to flying quite easily. So we'll see what happens with that storyline there. But they currently have the twins, Radcliffe and Haywood. And they are pretty dang adorable, if I do say so myself. And we will see what happens there. So after Mare was born, we had another set of twins. We had Saga, who sadly passed away, stillborn. Riona had a very difficult pregnancy here. She had almost lost the babies. But Oscar did survive, so he was the second twin and he survived. Unfortunately, Oscar was quite a naughty boy. He was always getting into trouble. He was always testing the limits and trying to get the attention of his parents. And unfortunately, he did pass away. So he took one too many risks and unfortunately met an untimely death from drowning. So after this set of twins, Riona had her final set of twins. And unfortunately, she did pass away, laying in her bed with a smile on her face and a tear in her eye because she had lost other twins before. And she was so happy to find out that these two survived. And even though she was dying and she probably knew that she wasn't going to make it, she was happy that she was finally able to birth a healthy set of twins. And we ended up with Rune and Thor. Rune is our, as noted here, first surviving set of twins. He is currently living, and Rune has taken a bit of a rebel route. He has decided not to get married, and he is currently exploring his sexuality in secret. And he is risking a lot by doing this, but he has moved in with Mare, and Mare is kind of the same. She has always been a little bit of a rebel. She's always kind of mischievous in a way. She likes kind of being deceptive. She literally likes deception. And was it complaints? I don't remember. I have to update all of this with their likes and dislikes. It's just so much management. I apologize that it's not great at the moment. Oh, and I didn't even mention her poor husband. She's married to Randall Stringfellow. So yeah, Rune will not be getting married. He's currently living with Mare and kind of just trying to figure out his life. Unfortunately, his brother Thor died during the famine. So that was very unfortunate. He is currently still visiting the household as a ghost quite frequently. And we miss him. We miss Thor a lot, and he was going to be a very handsome boy, but he unfortunately did not make it during the famine. He died of malnutrition. And that is the end of Riona's children. So when Riona passed away, Runar took it very, very hard. And he had so many kids. He had 6 kids when Riona passed away. And he knew that he realistically could not do it on his own. So he did take a wife of convenience in Harmony Hill. So Harmony Hill came to live with Runar and the children. And at first, Runar did not even consummate the marriage for quite some time. It took him a very long time. All that Harmony wanted out of this marriage was a home and children of her own. And Runar is a man of his word, so he did promise her that they would have children. It just took him a while to get to the point of even consummating the marriage because he was scared of risking another woman's life. He did eventually consummate the marriage with Harmony and had Sawyer with her. And, he was keeping Harmony at arm's length. And when they had Sawyer, and yes, I know, I'm apparently writing these or something, so some of them have a space and some of them don't. I have to figure out what I'm doing wrong. I'm probably putting it in the wrong field or something. I don't know why that's happening, but anyhow, I'm aware of that. I need to figure it out. But, once Harmony gave birth to Sawyer and survived that pregnancy and childbirth, Runar was kind of surprised at how relieved he was that she survived. And for the longest time, he kind of took another step back from her. Their relationship tanked for a while. He was flirting with Riona's ghost and stuff. And they did not have the best relationship for quite a while. And needless to say, they weren't really sleeping together. So there were not very many pregnancies for very long. I don't know why I don't have his birth date on here. Odd. But there weren't any pregnancies for a while, but she really wanted additional children. And before long, we will look at Sawyer's birth date here in a second. Before long, they did have Huxley. And Huxley was just born in 1320. So he's a brand new baby. And again, Harmony survived, and Runar has fallen in love with her at this point. He is very much in love with his new wife now, and the relief when she gave birth to this healthy baby and she survived, I don't know that he's going to want to risk her having any more kids because now he is so fond of her. He will never love anybody the way that he loves Riona, but he has come to treasure Harmony as well. And all that she has done for her stepchildren and helped him build this beautiful life. So we'll see what happens there. But right now, Harmony and Runar have these 2 children together, Sawyer and Huxley. And that is where we are currently at. So there will not be any more children down this line until Sawyer. Obviously, these folks, he's passed away, so we only have Rune, who is not having children, and that was a part of the challenge. He rolled to not have children, and then the reason being, he likes men, and I'll have you know, the game autonomously figured that out for him. He wrote a love letter to another man autonomously, and that kind of wrote his story that's why he doesn't really want to get married. But it's also because his mom passed away giving birth to him, and he has seen so much death. In fact, around the time that these 3 children passed away, it was like his breaking point when Edric passed away. When Edric passed away, the stress just overtook him. He ended up running away to Mare's house. And yeah, so he's seen a lot of death. He knows his mom died giving birth to him. He lost his own twin brother. He feels like a piece of him is missing. And then he sees all these children dying that his brother is having, and all this risk that his brother's wife is taking, having all these children. And he literally had a moodlet that said, I have to get away from this family. So he ran away and he's figuring stuff out. So the next one that will be having children maybe is Sawyer, who is still a child. So we will see, but this is what it's looking like right now. Like I said, I have to add Mare's husband, and I'm sorry that I didn't have these guys showing when I first showed this. I am a hot mess 99% of the time, okay? All right, so now the moment you've all been waiting for, let's look at the spreadsheet. Now, don't pay attention to the death rolls to the right because I have revised them. These are just the ones that came with the spreadsheet. I'm not going to spend too much time on this page. This is like the timeline page. This is where we kind of keep track of what's happening, and I have made notes about when the events all are here as well. But this is seriously a hot mess all the time, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. I forgot to mention, by the way, I'm sick currently. I'm feeling a little bit better today. I just started feeling a little bit better today. I wanted to do this on Facecam, but I'm like been sick. So I'm like, I don't want to really do that. But I apologize if my voice is kind of scratchy. I can tell I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. But I definitely want to continue filming this for you and get this out for everybody. So this is my favorite page of the spreadsheet. This is kind of where I'm keeping all of the information of everybody, and I do plan on adding some columns eventually once I figure out all of the things that are important, which later, like their country of origin, might become important. There is an element of this where you take Sims and move to America. So right now this is working fine, but I might want to add additional information later. But fun fact about this, I just did the math, and we have about a 40% death rate, I believe is what it came out to be. It was like 39 or something like that. We did have a very good run of good luck, and then we had a run of very bad luck. And you can see kind of here this was our run of bad luck with the children of the second generation's children. This is technically generation 0, but my brain, I'm just calling them generation 1, and then Folks generation 2, and now Edward will be generation 3 if he survives. They are going to continue having more children. So they're kind of color coded. Here are Runar and Riona and their children, and then Harmony and Runar's children are kind of this other blue color, and then we have Lassie and Folks line here, and then we have Thora's line here, which she currently has 2 husbands listed and 1 child. And then we have Mare here. Now Mare, we're kind of in a gray area right now because she was supposed to have 4 pregnancies, but when she died, she was pregnant, and I had to terminate the pregnancy to kill her. So, if we count that as a pregnancy, she's done. If we don't count that as a pregnancy, she should have 1 left, because she had Jolene, who passed away during the famine. Then she had Felix, and then she had twins, Radcliffe and Haywood. So that's 3 pregnancies. The one where she passed away would make 4. So I don't know on that yet. If I feel like we need to stretch it, I will. But let's assume for right now she's done. And Thora needs to have 3 more pregnancies with her new husband, Walter. So she'll have 3 kids, or however many she ends up having. She'll have 3 pregnancies with Walter. She had 1 pregnancy with Sullivan. And then Lassie and Folk are just going to continue. Let's see, just out of curiosity. So Sawyer died. I don't have it. Sawyer didn't die. Oh my god. Sawyer was born in 1308, and then Huxley was born in 1320. So yeah, 12 years it took Runar to have a second kid with her. That is wild. But for many of those years, their relationship was not great. And, you know, Riona died in 1306. And it didn't take long for Runar to bring Harmony home. But like I said, he did not consummate the marriage right away. So it was like 2 years from Riona's death that they had their first child, and then they waited 12 years to have the second kid. That's crazy. But yeah, this is this. The pregnancy stats is just something I'm kind of keeping for myself, and just trying to remember who's currently pregnant and etc. And then we have the deaths and the events. I don't know how updated this is. I need to add the husband that has passed away and things like that. But the main note that I wanted to make was for the events themselves. I really want to keep a record of what happens during each event. So like the wars, whoever ends up dying when they go to war, I want that to just kind of be its own little separate stat so that I can see it. Side households, we're going to ignore that right now. And family tree, I've not done anything with this since generation 1. Honestly, my brain cannot handle this. I don't even know how to fill this out. To be perfectly real with you, it's something that Morbid has on hers. And yeah, this is my favorite page. This is so much easier than scrolling like on the timeline when you want to remember when someone passed away or something. This is where I've modified the aging system, and this is just the one that I'm messing with. Because I started changing it in like 1310, but this is not my final version. I'm going to be finalizing my version before we age up Folk in the next episode. So I do have to work on that, and I hope that that will be coming soon. Again, everyone, my apologies for not being on Facecam. I really wanted to be on Facecam for these little recaps, but I just had to get sick. So not looking my best right now. Here is another look at our family tree. And let me know if you have any questions or if you've noticed anything that I've done completely wrong, because that is entirely possible. And I may have even misspoke or mixed things up during this chat because my brain is not working great because I'm sick. I do want to point out really quick, because I forgot to mention it. This was so hard to get, okay? And we have Catherine, who is stinky. We have Mare, who turned around, stressing me out. We have so many infants right now. It's insane when you see this all together like this. And the children kind of got mixed up. So Harmony has hers, and Lassie has hers, and the rest of them got all mixed up. So because Mare has twins and only has one set of hands currently, I meant to have Mare have Felix, but then Thora ended up with Felix. Rune ended up with Catherine. Runar has Haywood, and and Mare has Radcliffe, and then she turned around. But I could not. The first shot I tried to get, half of them like up and walked away. And it was all the Sims that weren't currently in the household. So I had to add them to the household. It would be so much easier to take them individually and then like Photoshop them in. But ain't nobody got time for that. But I don't know. This was probably more difficult. It was not easy, but I wanted to get a photo of the main people. Obviously, the girls do not have their husbands with them. It would have just been too many Sims to try to pose. Especially with the infants. There's not as many poses as other life stages because the infants are new. I'm going to sign off from here because my throat is itching so bad. I don't even know what I have. It's just been mainly a sore throat, but it is so itchy and my ears are so itchy, and it's enough to drive someone kind of batty. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for watching. Let me know if you have any suggestions for things that I should add to future recaps. But for now, this is the recap of the years 1300 through 1320. We have survived 2 decades of the Ultimate Decades Challenge, and we have many more to go. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.